You ate the date, sucked its sweet flesh, and without a second thought, you threw away its stone. But that stone held a code. 457, a secret name of Allah, a number only the mystics knew. And you threw it away? Today it returns. This seed is not dead. It is a sacred yantra vibrating with light. Welcome to Light Beneath the Words. Universal teachings adapt to the context in which they emerge. Consider the lotus in Buddhism or the vine in Christianity. In mystical Islam, the date holds a similar significance, with a depth that few have explored. When the Prophet advised breaking the fast with a date, do you think he was only concerned with nutrition? The secret manuscripts from the Ismaili libraries of al-imam reveal something astonishing. The date, through its structure, mirrors the 7 cosmic levels of creation. Its maturation follows the exact stages of the soul's spiritual evolution. Even more fascinating, some communities use the arrangement of dates on a platter as a coded language invisible to persecutors. 3 dates in a line signaled imminent danger, while 7 dates in a star pattern indicated the presence of a direct envoy of the imam. Today we unveil this complete system, which will forever transform your understanding of spirituality.
Welcome to Unleashing Your Inner Mystic. I'm Mansour, and I'm thrilled to have you here.
I am Ferdera, your mystagogue. Just as water takes the shape of the vessel that holds it, universal teachings adapt to the context in which they emerge.
What the Sufis refer to as haqiqa, the essential truth, remains unchanging. However, the tariqa, the path to that truth, adapts to the time, place, and people. In the Arabian desert, the date became a symbol of this eternal wisdom.
It's no coincidence that this wisdom crystallized around the date in the Islamic world, much like it revealed itself through the lotus in India or ginseng in China.
Exactly. In Ismaili teachings, the palm tree is said to have 360 uses, matching the 360 degrees of the celestial circle. This connection reveals the deep harmony between the earthly microcosm and the celestial macrocosm.
Let's take a moment to clarify these terms. The microcosm refers to the material world we experience with our senses. The macrocosm, on the other hand, represents the broader cosmic order, which is invisible to the naked eye.
This concept is fundamental to understanding Islamic mysticism. The Hermetic saying, "as above, so below," is perfectly embodied in the date palm.
The manuscripts preserved in Ismaili libraries describe the palm tree as having 7 main parts: the roots, trunk, fronds, fibers, spathes, dates, and pith.
And the number 7 is not a coincidence. It mirrors the 7 imams, the 7 heavens, the 7 earths, and the 7 days of creation. But this is just the beginning.
Imagine this. Every time you look at a date palm, you're gazing at a living map of the entire universe. The roots, firmly anchored in the earth, represent our material world, while the fronds, reaching toward the sky, symbolize our spiritual aspirations.
During a journey in Syria, a Druze initiate offered me a date and whispered, "This one comes from the 108th celestial degree." I didn't understand at the time, but that night I dreamed of a perfect circle engraved in the sky with 360 luminous points. At the center was my own heart. Since then, I've kept this dried date as a talisman. It reminds me that everything above is already within me. In the mystical realm of Sufi wisdom, there's a profound belief that the palm tree is nature's own devotee. Its elegant fronds are forever reaching towards the heavens, as if in a constant state of prayer and adoration. This noble tree, with its graceful posture, embodies a silent, eternal worship, making it a symbol of spiritual devotion in the natural world.
Let's delve even deeper into the profound symbolism of the date palm. Its maturation process is beautifully aligned with the 28 lunar stations, known as the Manazil al-Qamar. As the date evolves, it passes through 5 remarkable stages, each a testament to its journey towards perfection. First, there's the hababuk, the delicate initial bud, a promise of what's to come. Then it transforms into the bal, the vibrant green date brimming with life and potential. Next, it becomes the bus, the unripe yellow date patiently awaiting its time to ripen. As it softens, it enters the rutub stage, a tender and succulent phase. Finally, it reaches the tamra stage, the mature, dry date embodying the culmination of its journey, a symbol of resilience and fulfillment.
These 5 stages mirror the 5 divine presences in Sufi cosmology, each a profound reflection of spiritual growth. The hababuk, the initial bud, represents the pure presence, the seed of the unmanifested, a whisper of potential waiting to unfold. But what truly resonated with me was the bal stage, the green date. During a silent retreat, I was guided to fast with only green dates. They were hard, bitter, almost defiant. My body resisted, but as the days wore on, something within me shifted. My mentor shared a phrase that has stayed with me ever since. Your faith too is green. It still resists the light, but the sweetness is already there, hidden within the bitterness. In that moment, I realized it wasn't just a phase of ripening. It was a veiled divine presence teaching me in silence. It's astonishing how a simple fruit can embody an entire spiritual journey, a map of the soul's evolution.
Absolutely. For those of you seeking to awaken your inner mystic, take a moment to observe how nature itself provides us with perfect models of spiritual transformation. The date isn't just any fruit, it's a living manual, a guide to the evolution of the soul.
But imagine this. What if I told you that the true power of the date isn't found in its sweet, succulent flesh, but in its humble pit, that tiny, seemingly insignificant part that so many of us toss aside without a second thought?
What the world overlooks, the seeker treasures. The date pit, often discarded, holds a profound secret. It is to spiritual knowledge what the black stone of the Kaaba is to pilgrimage, the hidden heart, the essence that sustains the entire journey.
Absolutely. Its elongated shape with that central fissure mirrors the Arabic letter Alif, the first letter of the alphabet and a powerful symbol of divine unity.
The next time you savor a date, pause and examine its pit. That fissure running through it isn't random. It's a profound symbol. According to the wisdom of Ja'afar al-Sadiqi, the 6th Imam, it embodies the essential divide between the zahir, the visible world, and the batin, the hidden depths within.
For those of you discovering these terms, zahir represents the exoteric side of religion, the visible, literal aspects that everyone can see. Batin, on the other hand, is the esoteric side, the hidden, symbolic depths, accessible only to those who seek deeper understanding. During Ramadan, an elderly woman offered me a date. As I bit into it, I found it had no taste. She looked at me and said, "You fast with your body, but not yet with your soul." I was puzzled, so she explained, "The zahir is waiting for sunset. The batin is recognizing the darkness within you, even at noon." In that moment, I realized I knew nothing about true fasting.
Just like this pit, which might seem insignificant on the outside, but within it lies the embryo of a future palm tree, a world of potential waiting to unfold.
And here's where it gets truly fascinating. In the ancient science of abjad, each Arabic letter holds a numerical value. If we calculate the value of the word nawāt,
we get non equals 50. Waw equals 6. Alif equals 1. The marbuta equals 400, for a total of 457.
This number is truly extraordinary. It matches the combined numerical value of 2 profound expressions, Sirr Allah, meaning secret of God, which equals 326, and al-imam, meaning the leader, which equals 131. Together, they form a number of deep significance.
When you add 326 and 131, you get 457. Remarkably, the date pit holds within its very name the numerical equation representing the secret of God that only the imam can interpret. It's as if the essence of this profound mystery is encoded right before our eyes.
Picture this. Every time a Muslim mystic held a date pit, they were unknowingly holding a mathematical key to divine knowledge. This isn't mere superstition, it's a precise system of numerical correspondences designed to preserve ancient wisdom. Once, two esteemed scholars were engrossed in a debate over the interpretation of a Quranic verse. One advocated for the literal meaning while the other delved into its esoteric depths. Their intense discussion caught the attention of a quiet, elderly man who offered them dates to eat. After they finished, he pointed to the pits and said, "See this fissure? Just as the pit cannot sprout without it, truth cannot thrive without the union of the apparent, or zahir, and the hidden, or batin." He then reminded them of the verse, "He is the apparent and the hidden." In that moment, the scholars realized their interpretations were not in conflict, but complementary, like two sides of the same pit.
For those of you eager to awaken your inner mystic, start seeing everyday objects not just as ordinary things, but as living symbols. True spirituality isn't separate from daily life. It's hidden in plain sight, waiting to be discovered.
And remember, these secrets weren't guarded out of selfishness, but to safeguard knowledge that could be easily misinterpreted or misused. If you truly wish to delve into their depths, you'll need the texts themselves. I've included the links in the description. These books have the power to transform your perspective on the world. Trust me, I'm sharing this with you for a reason.
In some Ismaili traditions, it is believed that meditating deeply on a date pit for 40 consecutive days can lead to spiritual illumination. This isn't about magic. Rather, it's the prolonged contemplation that awakens certain spiritual centers within us.
But imagine this. If a simple date pit holds such profound wisdom, what deeper insights might we uncover by observing the entire transformation of the date, from delicate flower to ripe fruit?
What modern chemistry refers to as metabolism, Sufi alchemists saw as spiritual transmutation. The date in this light becomes nature's own alchemical laboratory. In esoteric circles shaped by alchemical traditions, the transformation of the date was viewed as a natural process of transmutation, a perfect model for spiritual evolution.
The manuscripts attributed to Jabir ibn Hayyan, often regarded as a proto-Ismaili, draw fascinating parallels between the ripening of the date and the stages of the alchemical magnum opus.
For those of you new to alchemy, the opus magnum, or great work, symbolizes the journey of spiritual transformation. It's often depicted as the process of turning ordinary metals into gold.
And here's how the date beautifully illustrates this process. The green date, known as Bal, corresponds to the Nigredo, the black phase, representing dissolution and purification. The yellow date, or Busar, embodies the Citrinitas, the yellow phase, symbolizing the dawning of illumination. The reddish date, called Rutab, signifies the Rubido, the red phase, where opposing principles unite. Finally, the dried date Tamar represents the philosopher's stone itself, the culmination of the great work.
What's truly extraordinary is that nature effortlessly achieves what alchemists strove to replicate in their laboratories. The desert sun acts as the alchemical fire, gradually transforming the raw substance into a nutritive quintessence.
And that's precisely what you, dear listeners, can do in your own lives. Your consciousness is like that transformative sun, capable of transmuting life's raw experiences into profound spiritual wisdom.
Hidden within private collections in Yemen are alchemical recipes that describe special preparations using dates, all designed to aid in this inner transmutation.
One such preparation, known as Iksir al-Tamr, or date elixir, involved soaking 7 varieties of dates in rose water for 40 days, carefully timed with the lunar phases.
These 40-day periods are a recurring theme in mystical traditions. Whether it's 40 days of retreat, fasting, or isolation, this isn't arbitrary. The 40-day cycle seen across various spiritual practices reflects a fundamental rhythm of spiritual transformation. From Sufi seclusion to Christian fasting, Buddhist retreats to Hindu disciplines, this period marks a crucial threshold. It's a time when the soul is tested, purified and prepared for the next stage of its journey toward ultimate reality.
Here's a simple exercise you can try at home. Take a fresh date and a dried date. Hold each in your hands and meditate for a few minutes. Feel the difference, not just physically, but energetically, between these two states of the same fruit.
This simple practice will instantly connect you to an ancient alchemical tradition. By holding these dates, you're literally experiencing the beginning and end of the transmutation process.
What few people realize is that Muslim mystics used different varieties of dates as a secret language, a code that allowed them to share forbidden teachings right under the noses of orthodox authorities.
Imagine a world where the arrangement of simple fruits on a platter could contain a coded message visible only to initiates. This world existed, and some say it still exists today.
At first glance, this fruit platter seems quite ordinary. Just a few dates, some figs, and a pomegranate cut in half.
What may seem ordinary to you is actually a complete message for those who know how to read it. The 3 apricots arranged in a triangle represent the 3 levels of reality. The open pomegranate symbolizes revelation.
You mean this arrangement has a specific meaning?
For the initiate, this platter signifies that our meeting is about the 7th veil of knowledge. Notice the 7th date hidden under the mint leaf. It embodies the very principle of Zahir and Batin.
How did such a system come to be?
It emerged out of necessity. In the Ottoman courts, persecution made open communication risky. Think of the date pit with its fissure. It symbolizes the divide between the visible and invisible worlds.
So, each fruit carries its own symbolic and numerical significance?
Every fruit, its placement and its condition matter. An open fig means something different from a closed one. A pomegranate with visible seeds signifies a truth coming to light.
Is this system still in use today?
More than you might think. Just last year in Fez, a fruit platter conveyed a message to 5 of us. The true meeting will be held at midnight in the garden of Al-Qarawin.
Doesn't that seem elitist? Knowledge reserved for only a select few?
Knowledge unveils itself to those who are ready. As the proverb goes, the eye sees only what the mind is prepared to understand.
How does one get initiated into this way of reading?
Through observation. Notice the date in the center, tilted towards the east, signifying Eastern traditions. The space between each fruit aligns with the intervals of the Maqam Bayati.
An arrangement that even includes a musical reference?
Everything is interconnected. 3 dates in a line, followed by a fig and a sliced pomegranate, signify the direct path leads to unification and then to revelation.
It's dizzying to think that so much meaning can be held within something so ordinary.
Isn't that where wisdom lies, finding the extraordinary within the ordinary? As the prophet said, an hour of contemplation is worth more than a year of worship.
For those who wish to awaken their inner mystic, here's a powerful lesson. Spiritual communication doesn't always rely on words or texts. Sometimes, symbols and arrangements speak far more eloquently than any speech. And remember, this symbolic language wasn't elitist by nature, but protective. In a world where expressing certain spiritual ideas could be dangerous, these codes ensured that wisdom survived and was passed down.
But the real question is, how can one apply this ancient wisdom personally? How can we transform this knowledge into a living practice that awakens our mystical dimension?
Ancient texts describe a forgotten meditative technique where simply contemplating a date could unlock the doors to mystical perception. This practice has nearly vanished today.
This remarkable technique utilized the very structure of the date as a natural yantra, a meditation diagram embedded within a physical object.
For our listeners unfamiliar with the concept of yantra, it's a geometric diagram used as a meditation support, particularly in Hindu and Buddhist traditions.
What's fascinating is that Muslim mystics discovered that nature had already created a perfect yantra in the structure of the date.
The meditation unfolds in precise stages. It begins with contemplating the outer form of the date, representing the material world. Then, one visualizes its flesh internally, symbolizing the intermediate world. Next, focus shifts to the pit, representing the spiritual world. Finally, one meditates on the invisible embryo within the pit, symbolizing the divine essence itself.
What makes this practice so powerful is its use of a concrete, tangible object to guide the mind toward the abstract and invisible. It's precisely this bridge between the material and the spiritual that we seek to build, to awaken our inner mystic.
In the mystical traditions of certain branches within the Nurbakshiya Tariqah, deeply influenced by the esoteric wisdom of Ismailism, it is whispered that through dedicated practice one may ultimately behold the resplendent light of the imamate. This divine illumination, a beacon of spiritual enlightenment, grants access to elevated realms of knowledge, unveiling the profound mysteries of existence.
Within the sacred realms of certain Sufi traditions, deeply intertwined with the mystical threads of Ismailism, the Kubrawiya orders of Central Asia cultivated a unique form of dhikr. This profound practice, steeped in spiritual devotion, incorporated the humble yet symbolic use of dates, imbuing the ritual with a sense of sacred nourishment and divine connection.
The practice known as de dhikr or dhikr al-tamr unfolds with the recitation of sacred divine names as the initiate cradles a date in their left hand. At the zenith of this ritual, the initiate consumes the date, symbolizing the profound integration of divine essence, uniting the physical and spiritual realms in a moment of transcendent communion.
Behold the profound harmony where spirituality and sustenance intertwine. In this sacred dance, food transcends its earthly form, becoming a vessel of spiritual transformation. Each morsel consumed is a testament to the divine, nourishing not just the body, but the very soul, in a sublime union of the physical and the ethereal.
For those who yearn to experience a simplified version of this sacred practice, I invite you to embark on a journey within the comfort of your own home. Take a date, and before partaking, hold it gently in your left hand, a symbol of receptivity in many ancient traditions. Breathe deeply, allowing your breath to anchor you in the present moment. Internally, repeat the sacred invocation, Ya Nur, O Light, 7 times, visualizing a radiant light infusing the date, imbuing it with divine luminosity.
As you consume the date, do so with deliberate slowness and mindfulness, savoring each moment as if it were a sacred act. Imagine that with every bite, you are integrating the spiritual light that now resides within it, allowing it to permeate your being. This is more than mere nourishment. It is a form of edible meditation, a communion with the divine through the simple act of eating.
Within the hallowed pages of Sufi texts, another profound practice is revealed, the visualization of each phase of the date palm's growth as a metaphor for the soul's spiritual journey. From the humble seed to the towering tree, each stage mirrors the evolution of the spirit, guiding the seeker through the sacred landscape of inner transformation.
The beauty of these practices lies in their seamless integration into the tapestry of daily life, requiring neither spiritual retreat nor specialized tools. They embody spirituality woven into the very fabric of the ordinary, inviting you to awaken your inner mystic through the sacred art of living. This is the path we champion, a journey of enlightenment that transcends the mundane, transforming every moment into a sacred encounter.
Yet, amidst these profound mysteries, a fundamental question emerges. Why the date? Among the myriad fruits and plants that thrive in the desert landscape, why did Muslim mystics select this humble fruit as the vessel for their deepest wisdom? What secrets does it hold that make it a sacred conduit for spiritual enlightenment?
The answer may reside in a nearly forgotten Quranic narrative, where a woman in the throes of pain finds solace not from an angel or a prophet, but from the humble date palm. One of the most captivating yet often overlooked aspects of date symbolism in Islam is its profound connection to the feminine principle, particularly with Mary, the mother of Jesus. This sacred fruit, imbued with nurturing and life-giving qualities, embodies the essence of divine comfort and maternal grace.
Absolutely. In the Quran, Surah 19, verses 23 through 25, Mary, in the midst of labor, is guided to a date palm. A voice tells her, "Shake the trunk of the palm tree. It will drop ripe, fresh dates for you, so eat drink, and be comforted.
In the Ismaili esoteric interpretation, the root of jani, or fresh dates that Mary consumes, symbolize the refreshing spiritual knowledge available to the purified soul.
But what's remarkable here is that, unlike the forbidden fruit in the story of Adam and Eve, this sacred fruit is offered as a blessing, a divine nourishment in a moment of great difficulty.
This shows us a completely different dimension of spirituality, not based on prohibition and punishment, but on nourishment and support.
In some Sufi interpretations, Mary symbolizes the receptive soul. In its most challenging time, akin to spiritual labor, it receives divine nourishment directly from the tree of life.
And notice, in this narrative, there's no intermediary between Mary and the palm tree, no priest, no angel, no one. It's a direct connection between the soul and the source of spiritual nourishment.
This is a profoundly liberating message for anyone seeking to awaken their inner mystic. Wisdom can be received directly, without intermediaries, if you are in the right state of receptivity.
For women, this narrative offers a powerful spiritual model. It celebrates feminine strength and a direct connection with the divine, a necessary counterpoint to the often exclusively masculine interpretations of spirituality.
Together, we've explored the many dimensions of this sacred fruit, from its numerical codes to its meditative practices. But perhaps the greatest lesson of the date is even simpler and more profound.
Perhaps the date teaches us, above all, that authentic spirituality isn't separate from daily life. It's deeply rooted in our simplest gestures, like nourishing ourselves.
After this exploration, we come back to the essential question: how can we integrate this ancient wisdom into our modern lives?
The beauty of the mystical approach to dates is that it shows us how to integrate the spiritual into the material. There's no need to retreat to a cave. Your kitchen can become an alchemical laboratory. Here's some simple practices to awaken your inner mystic through the wisdom of the date. Before eating a date, take a moment to contemplate it. See it as a microcosm of the entire universe. Try the progressive meditation we discussed, moving from the outside inward. When you eat dates, whether during Ramadan or any other time, do so mindfully. Treat it as a sacred act, not just a habit. And remember, this approach goes well beyond dates. It's a way to rediscover the sacred in the ordinary, to see the living symbols all around us.
Your inner mystic doesn't need extraordinary experiences or complex initiations to awaken. It's already there, just waiting for you to notice the wonders hidden in the simplest things.
As an ancient Sufi poem says, the entire universe is contained in a seed. The divine is not elsewhere, but in the details of everyday life. What I share here isn't just for me. These are treasures discovered, translated, and meditated upon. You can explore them yourself. They await you, just a click away in the description. Don't let this opportunity slip by.
Perhaps that's the greatest secret of all. Spiritual awakening isn't about escaping the world, but seeing it as it truly is, filled with divine signs for those who have eyes to see.
As the Qur'an says, we will show them our signs in the horizons and within themselves until it becomes clear to them that it is the truth. The date is one of these signs, waiting to be truly seen.
You've just glimpsed the hidden wisdom of the date pit, but this is only the first door to ancient secrets. As the masters taught, conscious acts open the paths of knowledge. By subscribing now, you'll trace your path toward revelations that even mystics hesitated to share openly. Those who have joined our circle speak of a transformed perception of the visible and invisible worlds. The link in the description awaits you, like the divine secret in the split pit. Our next journey between worlds will reveal what the guardians of knowledge have protected for centuries. Share, like, comment, and subscribe.